We can go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to the industry session chair training or webinar. My name is Catalina Damasi, and I work for Meeting Management Services closely with APEC 2026 to help make sure we are putting on a successful event. I'm joined by my colleagues Nate Nauer and Stephen Holtzman on this call as well. Before we begin, I would love to acknowledge the industry session chairs for APEC 2026 on this call, David and Jama. I don't know if you want to just give a little wave. They have put together a great program for this upcoming year, and we're very excited um, that you all are a part of it. I will now turn it over to my colleague Nate, who will walk us through some slides and demos of how um, the session chairs can best interact with the presenters that they are working with.
All right, am I coming through?
Yep.
All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Nate Nauer. I'm working with the program content side of the APEC meeting, along with David and Shalma, and previously with Angus Murray, who was a wonderful man to work with. And if you knew him or worked with him, it was a true pleasure. We do miss him. We are going through the session chair reviewer side of uh, of this process. That's why you're here, is because you're industry session chairs. We have not launched some of these portal tests to some of the other parts of the program. So perhaps some of you will be chairs for some technical lectures or dialogues as well. Everything we're showing you today, uh, you will see the same things. It won't be a separate platform, it'll be the same thing. You'll just see more sessions if you have lecture sessions, dialogue sessions. We're focused on industry today. Nothing we're talking about, um, well, not much, is very particular to industry session content. It's just that the industry session presenters have already begun their portal tasks and have the ability to upload files. We really haven't received many files yet from the industry session presenters, but it's early and their drafts are due on January 16th. So, approaching January 16th, you should start seeing many more uploads. And you, as the session chairs, are also the reviewers for their presentation files. So, that's what we're here to talk about. Um, it is December 5th. Happy Friday. Oh, wait a minute. Is this Kelly? Let me see. Make sure I can go. There. Did it advance?
Yes.
All of our emails are here. These are not live links, but you are free to email any of us. There is also the speakers at apec-conf.org email in the lower right-hand corner of each of these slides. Um, if you have questions, this is where we see the questions. You're welcome to email us individually, but if it's related to APEC and something to do with the portal, the reviewer, the speaker portal, email us at speakers@apec-conf.org and we will get back to you. It also provides us with a good catalog of the questions that are coming in. Any questions about this webinar, you can ask while we're on the webinar. And if you forget to or whatever, or think of something later, email us at speakers@apec-conf.org. All right, I'm not going to go through each one of the points of this outline. You'll have the PDF of this file. It will be sent out when this is posted, just about a week from now, maybe Thursday of next week. But I am going to walk through this. You've been introduced to us. We're going to go through the purpose of this, and then I'm going to kind of start from the event and work backwards. Why are we doing what we're doing, and where does all this content end up? At the end, I'm going to step you through the screens you should be seeing in the reviewer portal and the functionality that's there. If we have time and if you want, and it's a useful thing, I can show you a live demo. My plan right now is to get through these slides, give you time for questions and answers, and if we have time left over, well, We can end early. Um, I have endeavored to put anything that you would get from a live demo into the slides so that the PDF of these slides is useful after. All right, important dates. This is a very similar slide to what was shown to the presenters in the industry session presenters webinar, which, by the way, is live on the APEC site and would be useful for all the session chairs to at least look at the PDF, what was shown to the presenters. Today is the 5th, and we're doing our webinar. In just about a week, we'll have this webinar, the video and the PDF posted on the site, so it's there for all your colleagues and for your own review. On January 16th, it's a Friday, we are asking all presenters to have at least their first draft presentation uploaded. It's not a hard cutoff date. If they upload something after the 16th, it's not going to disallow them. But we're giving presenters this draft upload due date so that you, as session chairs, have a good idea of when's a good time to go in. Would I have 100% or 80% or 90% of my files there for review? You should have things by January 16th. We are going to be emailing presenters who have not logged in or uploaded the week before the 16th. So that's when the drafts are due. The 26th is the early bird registration end date. And the reason that's here is an important date. All presenters are required to register. You, as session chairs, are required to register. And you may as well register at a cheaper rate. And the 26th is that cutoff date. If presenters are incommunicative, haven't uploaded, it may be that they're not coming. And so we try to sort that out sooner than later. All right, February 6th is, again, it's not a hard cutoff date, but this is the date by which we're asking session chairs to have reviewed and provided feedback to all presenters. So that's 3 weeks about between the 16th of January and February 6th. That drafts are in. You've got time to look at all the files, maybe follow up with a presenter who hasn't uploaded anything yet, give feedback once you've got the files, and then they have from the 6th to the 20th of February to make revisions and upload a final. A, f- a final file is what's going to go into the digital products that we're going to get into in just a second. It's a full month before the event. You might seem like it's too early a date to say this is my final file. But the reason for that is the digital products which have to be created. Um, Nobody's asking this yet, but can presenters make minor changes to presentations? Yes, they can. But the date of the 20th is a cutoff date for certain digital products we need to create. And so we want to be through the review, revision, and re-upload process so that on the 20th, we've got all the files and they're all ready for the show and they're all ready to go into a publishable form. This is just a bigger picture. I'll show it again at the end. Calendar of your 3 important dates. The first one on the left is important to presenters. It's also important to you because it lets you know when to start reviewing. The 6th is when we're asking you to get back to your presenters with feedback. And the 20th is when presenters have to upload their finals. All right. I've said it before. Catalina said it. We are recording. We will post the recording. And we are always available at speakers@apec-conf.org. What we're really here to do is not just show you the tool that we need you to use. The main goal is we want a high quality live event at APEC. We also want the digital products that are being created to be complete and of a high quality. And so, with that in mind, the first thing we're going to go through is what we're calling the final product. Let's start at the end. Let's start from San Antonio, March 22nd. That's the Sunday. Tuesday, the 24th, industry sessions start. So the digital product screenshots are here on the lower left. And of course, that's the banner of the APEC website. So in the live event, we want the experience of the speakers and the chairs to be a good experience. So I think somebody might need to mute. Thank you. Uh, the live event is really the main thing for APEC, and so that's what everybody's thinking about, and that's where everything happens. And we want the experience for the speakers to be smooth and pleasant. We want the experience for the session chairs to be pleasant, and of course, we're all here to serve the attendees at APEC, which are yourselves and everybody else who's coming. You, as session chairs, have a special job to do both pre-event and during the event. You're going to make your sessions run. You're going to you're keeping things moving. You're the main points of contact for your presenters if they're having an issue. And so our purpose here today, one of the main purposes is to facilitate that communication between you as chairs and your presenters. Now, these digital products that I've been talking about, I'm talking about three things. A website, which right now the website pages are pulled into the APEC site. You can look at the schedule. I've got a screenshot coming up. But we don't have content live in that site yet. But we will. The week before APEC, slide decks will be available to view if you're registered and have login credentials. You'll also have the mobile app. The mobile app is used mainly on site. It's released 2 weeks before the event. It's used mostly during APEC and not much after. But it is semi-permanent, so the digital file of this PowerPoint that people are uploading, the presenters are uploading, will live on the website, will live on in the mobile app. And it's the PowerPoint file which is feeding those top two digital products. And that is the file that you're looking at in the reviewer portal. It's the PowerPoint file. Now the PowerPoint here, it shows you on the website. This is the file session chairs are reviewing and approving. And there's a little button there. This is last year's or earlier this year, a presentation that you click that button, you can see a PDF of those slides. It's also available in the mobile app. So here's the same presentation shown on the mobile app, which will be updated for 2026. Again, it's fed by the PowerPoint. Now, this product is fed by a separate file. It's fed by a PDF. You, as session chairs, don't have visibility into the PDF that presenters upload. Our intention is they upload a PowerPoint, you review it, they make revisions, and you will, once they're final and approved, they make a copy of that or save as PDF and upload it to a second place. So it's the same content in two different file formats, uploaded to two different tasks, is what they're called in the speaker portal. And that goes to create this conference proceedings, which is available pre-event, and it's available up to 30 days or 30 days after the event. And actually, this year it's going to be available longer because of some adjustments that have been made. But this is a great product. It's a full, comprehensive proceedings of what happens at APEC, and the industry session presentation files in a PDF form will be available through this product. And this one you don't have visibility into. So I just want to make those things clear. Um, I'll stop here for a second. Are there any questions about that? I'm just kind of sort of trying to pre-answer questions we've had in the past about what goes where.
So it's a strictly honor system that they upload the same file in PDF format. We don't have any review of possible cheating, or I can't see why anybody would, but is
It's
that
an
is that correct?
You are correct. It's an astute question, and that is the case. They are asked and told explicitly, work with your session chairs to get an approved version of your slides, and then and only then save as a PDF and upload to this other place. And I'll show you where they do that. And the reviewers don't get an alert that that's been done and then have the ability to go check that. We have tried in the past to have like a draft task and then a final task. Pardon me. It created more confusion than helped. And some of you may remember that. Um, we're working with one task from start to finish for the PowerPoint. It's simplifying things in a great number of ways, which we are confident is going to make the experience better for everybody. But your point is absolutely correct. When they upload that PDF, you're not able to see it and vouch for the fact that it's 100% slide for slide, line for line, what you approved. but it is visible in this product. So it's not, they are, presenters are in a sense going on the record with what they put in here. So it's not outside of your ability to see, but it's not part of the review technology that we have. Anybody else have a question about that? That was a great question. All right. Feel free to interrupt me, but I'm gonna move on. This is another picture of the event proceedings, which is fed by the PDF. All right, now how do we get toward the final product? I had more slides about this for the presenters. For you, I'm going to keep it very terse. What you see on the APEC website right now, apec-conf.org, and if you go to the industry sessions schedule page, that is live data. That is the data we have in the speaker portal database. The session chairs that I can see that are right, I can see them without clicking into anything. I can see who the session chairs are. I can see their affiliations, universities or companies. I see the role there as session chairs. I see a session title. If I click on it, I see all of the presentation titles and the presenting authors or presenters. That's all live data. It's not static. So if it appears incorrect or needs updating, that it has to be corrected or updated in the speaker portal. So that's the first place when we told the presenters, how do you know who your chairs are before we've sent out, these chair announcements and we've done open the review portal. The first thing we say is go to the website and look and see I'm in IS 03. Here are my chairs. Here are the other presentations in my session. So it's all live, and if it needs to be corrected, then you need to correct it through the portal. I'll show you an exception to that. Right here, the two items you cannot change in the portal, you as chairs, they as presenters, you cannot change your own name, you cannot change your own email. The reason we've locked the ability to do that is because if we had the ability for presenters to change the name and the email associated with that presentation, they could effectively anonymize themselves and no immediate alert, no automatic alert goes out to the new person. I could go in, change the name to a colleague, change the email to the colleague's email, and the colleague is not aware of it. So it creates issues for registration audits, and it creates issues with follow up and communication and making sure you've got the files and the program complete, not just the files. So if names or emails need to be changed, if presenters need to change, and there are many reasons for which that will happen. We hope it's minimal, but it always happens where a presenter will need to, hey, I'm not able to come now. My colleague will be the new presenter. They have access to a change request form link. You were also given that change request form link in your invitation email to the reviewer portal. And you also see it if you go into the speaker portal and go to your profile, you'll see that you can go to the change request form. We don't want chairs to ask that somebody else be chairs. We would like to hear from the program chairs, from David and Jaume, if chairs need to change for industry sessions. Why am I bringing it up? Presenters may begin with you, upload a draft, get some feedback, upload a new file, and somewhere in that process, the presenter themselves changes. The good news is it's not going to interrupt the progress of the review. All of the record history is kept. When you log in, you see, okay, I could see the record of the upload history, but you may be working with a new person. So when that happens, the name will be updated in your reviews. You'll see you've got a new person to work with. And we do our job to send follow-up invitation emails to the new person, etc. But the person you're working with can change for a particular title. We make the changes and then send them the update. All right, what are the responsibilities for session chairs? I'll start with point 2 in this list. You are required to register for APEC and present. Excuse me, this is present. You don't have to present. You might be presenting, but you have to register for APEC, come to San Antonio and perform your duties as a session chair. One of them is to come to the speaker's breakfast on the morning or mornings of your sessions if you have sessions over multiple days. But let's just say you have one session and it's on Tuesday. You are required to come to the speaker's breakfast on Tuesday morning. Uh, Touch base with your presenters who have also been told they are required to come. Uh, and so session chairs are required to come and present live. You are doing something now as reviewers pre-event, but you are required to be there.
Nate,
Um, yes, sir.
I'm just letting you know I'm not going to register ahead of time. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you register on site, it is also acceptable. We're
yeah,
just letting you know that your presence is coveted. All right. So
yeah.
using
If,
of the
if I could, if I could register ahead of time without paying, I would consider that, but I don't think they allow that.
your point is well taken. Thank you. Yes, very savvy. The use of the reviewer portal is what we're going to focus on. I'm going to show you the differences between the speaker portal and the review portal here in a second. You are working as chairs in two portals. You've already received an invitation to the speaker portal. In the speaker portal, well, you've already received invitations to both now. But weeks ago, you got an invitation to the speaker portal because you are associated with that session record. And your photo will display on the website in the app if you upload it, which we ask you to do. Your bio, your professional bio will show. Your profile information, which is including and not limited to your company. Your if you have a multiple phone numbers you want to put in your profile, you can. If you have LinkedIn, Facebook, X accounts you want to uh, add to your profile, you can. The profile, the photo, the bio, they're done in the speaker portal. In the reviewer portal, you're doing one thing. You're looking at the slide decks that your people in your session have uploaded, you're providing feedback, and you're giving them recommendation and then a final decision of approved. We are working toward a final decision of approved in all cases. We are not expecting that uh, presenters will be rejected during this process. The expectation is session chairs are working with them until they can be approved. I'll just say one thing about the last note, and you'll see how you can do that here in just a few slides. If presenters are unresponsive, you as the session chairs have the closest outreach to those presenters. So you would see it that they hadn't uploaded anything. Maybe you send them an email. Maybe they never get back to you. If you consistently don't hear from a presenter, we would want you to take that up the chain. You can email the speakers box. We also, that needs to get to David and Jaume as the program, industry program chairs as soon as possible. Not to panic, but if somebody's consistently unresponsive, then we do need to know about it. And the session chairs have the closest ability to do that. A picture of the two portals. If you're logging in to the speaker portal, your login screen will say log into the speaker portal, and that's the image on the left. I'm showing David's login, but anonymizing his key here. If you're logging into the session chair reviewer portal, you will see log into the reviewer portal. Welcome to the session chair reviewer portal. If you were looking at that access key, which is an alphanumeric 8-character thing, they will be different. They are going to be different access keys. The nice thing about the Harvester product is you don't need to remember the key. In your invitation emails, it's a one-click to log in link, and that is unique. So they're two different things. You have two different access keys for both, for either one. We don't expect you to remember the key. We have one click to log in, but they are different. The task list on the left is the speaker portal task list. You'll see the photo bio profiler there. You'll also see this was a session chair. This is David's task. So confirm your participation. That's an admin view, so you're not seeing that anymore. But session chairs confirm participation. And there's one new one that we added, which if you click connect with your session chairs and session assistants, it shows you who all of your presenters are, who your fellow chair is, and when the session assistants are added to the roster, you will see their name and email too. And it does give you a quick click to email um, ability. So we've added that this year, mostly for the chairs and the assistants, but it has functionality for your seeing who your presenters are. But the left side is the speaker portal. The right side is the reviewer portal, and you'll see there's just one task. This isn't a truncated list. There's only one task in the list, and it's called presentation file upload review and approval. Again, we are working toward approval in all cases. Before we do the step-by-step slides, see how I'm doing with time. Any questions so far? All right. Catalina, you just jump in and interrupt me at any place.
Definitely no questions in the chat just yet.
So, if you have not received, if you have not clicked into the reviewer portal, check your inbox. The emails went out on Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning. Uh, and they said exactly, this print is small, so you can't read the email here. But they should say, welcome to the speaker session chair reviewer portal. And your login link is here. That's the thing that's been covered over by the green bar. If you click that link, you should see that welcome to the speaker session chair reviewer portal login screen. But everybody on this call, every industry session chair has been invited to the portal uh, through an invitation email with their access credentials. And it's the only way to do so because it's not it's not an open system where somebody can opt in and then get credentials. We have to add you and then email you from the system. So this is what your invitation email looks like. This is the top of it, and at the bottom you saw important dates, many of which we've covered already. If you have not received an email, please email us at the speakers box and we will make sure you're able to log in. Of all things, that's the most important thing that you could walk away from today. If you haven't logged in, you're able to log in as a reviewer. That's what it's going to look like when you are logging into the Session Chair Reviewer portal. We have not received uploads except for the few test uploads I did for myself. So if you log in today, you're not going to see that presenters have uploaded files, but you will see your list. You will be able to email people. Keep in mind, their due date for drafts isn't until January 16th. But logging in sooner than later to make sure you're in, you can get in, everything looks right. That's very important. All right, when you click the login, you're going to see a task list page. It's a long page, so not so long, but I had needed two screenshots for it. So this is the top of the page. You see event information, your profile in the middle. There's a feedback. That's a feedback form for the software platform. You're welcome to provide feedback for the software. Contact the event organizer. That gets you through to us, and our phone number and stuff is in there. You have one task in the list. It's the review task. Here's the bottom of the page, and it's called the review summary. And this is David's list. So David is a chair on two sessions. So you see Thursday sessions IS 19 and 25. Both are four title sessions. And so you're seeing the full list of 8. If you were connected to 2 7 presentation sessions plus one on Thursday, that's 4. You should see 18 titles in your list. So this is a useful page because you can just click on a particular title and go right to that review. When you click on the task, you're going to go to the step-by-step. It's like an arrow through, and I'll show you in a second. When you click on the task, you get to the same place. The summary here just gives you the ability to click right to a particular title. So the session chairs review task is linked to the presenter's upload slides task. Here is the presenter's point of view and their task list. It's their 4th task. It's called Upload Presentation Slides or Digital Poster File. So the dialogue presenters are also using this task to upload their digital poster files. If you're not affiliated with that, you would never see those, but we're using this one place for these uploads, and that's the task that you have a window into as a reviewer. The one underneath, upload a PDF of your presentation or poster, you don't have a window into it. You won't see it. So this just shows you that this one is the one on the left is linked to the one on the right. When a presenter uploads a new file on the left, you see it over here in the right. All right. You are responsible for vetting the quality of these presentations. There are rules about the commercial content that have been communicated. Overly commercial, overly commercially promotional. APEC doesn't want the industry sessions to be advertisements for one particular product or company. It has to have general educational value, although these presenters are coming from companies. But you, as the session chairs, are the ones with eyes on these presentations. So you are reviewing them for the quality. Compliance to the rules, as well as is this a sufficient presentation to fill a 25-minute speaking slot? You will need to download these files when you are using the review portal. You will need PowerPoint to actually open them because they're going to come 99% of them in PowerPoint format. You may get some that are in PDF format, which is okay for presentations, but you are going to need the software to open these files. After you review the draft versions, chairs must provide feedback to the presenters. They also are going to enter a review recommendation. That's just the term that's used, review recommendation. You'll see there's just three options in a second. The only one that's final is the approved recommendation. It's when it's approved, then you're done. Until you've approved it, it's not done, it's still in process. And they have been instructed to only create their PDF version of the same slides once you, as the chair, have approved it. So when you click the task to begin your reviews, you see a screen like this. So you're seeing the review, you'll see it clearer, the one that's being covered up, the review worksheet. Your numerator is the one in your order that you're on. Your denominator is the total number that's been assigned to you. So some session chairs have multiple sessions. They have a bigger denominator. If you just have one session on Wednesday morning, your denominator will be 7. It'll be a 7 title presentation. This is a presentation that does have a file upload, and here on the left, it's in that blue text. You'll see the file name .ppt, .pptx. You do need to click it. When you click it, it initiates the download of that file to your computer. You do need PowerPoint to open that file. I'm not going to show you opening PowerPoint, etc. here. Once you've looked at it and reviewed it, then you're going to need to provide a review recommendation, and there's some communication tools on the next slide. A review is not considered as begun, as started, or in process until you've entered a recommendation. You're not compelled to enter a recommendation right away, but just so you know, communicating back and forth with the presenter, even downloading the file, is according to the stats of the software platform, doesn't update the status of that review as in progress. The only thing that marks it as in progress is entering a recommendation. We've kept our recommendations to 3. The platform would enable you to do more. We want it to be very simple. Either let the presenter know that minor changes are needed, and then you'll email them what the changes are specifically. Let them know that major changes are needed. Again, tell them what the changes are, or approved. If you get a file first time, it's perfect and needs no changes whatsoever, you have the ability to just mark it as approved. If you do mark it as approved and click continue, then that review is complete, and they will get an email saying, you've been approved. Your file is done. Upload a PDF version. You probably don't want to do that right at the beginning of the process, but that's the mechanics of the process. Request changes, minor changes is going to begin the review. Request major changes is going to begin the review, and mark it as in progress. And approved is going to mark it as complete. So if you're looking at the review summary, I'm looking at my own and not David's. This is my own test account here. So I only have four titles, and I can see in my review summary that I've got uploads for all of them. A no upload would be a small bar that's red. All of these are in the reviewable status. One is in an in progress status, and one is complete. So number three, you can see it's got a green bar, and that's complete. So when you go back to here and you enter request major changes and continue, now the review is in progress. And the presenter has received an email that said, uh, your presentation has been reviewed, uh, and what you say in your email is going to come through. So now let's talk about that, the communication tool that we have through the portal. To the left, you'll see under your title, reviewer comment and email presenter. Reviewer comment, that's what you see now here on the right. When you click reviewer comment, you're going to get the pop-up on the right, and those are your own notes, and they're visible by yourself and your fellow chair. They are not sent to your uh, presenter. Reviewer comments, and it's there in text, in red text. The presenter will not see this comment. They will not see it, and you're not sending it to them. A reviewer comment is for your own notes, and you and your fellow chair can see the reviewer comment. The most effective way to communicate with presenters is using the email presenter feature through the portal. You could email presenters outside the portal. However, within the portal, you wouldn't have a record of those communications. If you do it in the portal, there's a record. Presenter emailed you, you emailed them, and there's a record of the communications listed, which is very useful, especially when presenters change. In that case, then you've got a record of the history of it. So when you click the email presenter button there on the left side, you'll get the pop-up on the right side. You can't change the from address. The from address is going to be a do not reply address, and that's intentional because we don't want to collect emails in a box that look like they're not being looked at. It's just basically an alert, and you're sending the email to the presenter. You'll see what that looks like here. And so you can't change the from address. You can't change the to address because that's being pulled from the email associated with the presenter who's associated with the title. You can add a CC address. That's optional. You can change the subject line of the email. It's pre-populated here as presentation file upload review and approval because that's the name of the task, but you can change that. The body of the email, I typed a little email out to my test account here. Says this slide deck needs twice as many slides to fill the 25-minute time slot. Also, please reduce the commercial promotional content in slides number 3 and number 5 and number 9. And I think this did get a status of request major changes. So they got that, sent email, and this is what the email looks like on the right-hand side. Um, I have to correct something I just said so it's clear. When you put in a status of request major changes or request minor changes, that in itself does not send an automatic email. It's the email content that you type out that is sent. The requesting minor, requesting major is for you, is to mark it as in progress, and then you know, okay, this one need a minor, this one need a major, this one's complete. And so you as a reviewer, that's your way to iterate your progress. But you have to actually type out what the change is needed. If you're saying request changes, you've got to let them know what. That's why you use the email presenter tool. The email looks like that, and the presenter has a one-click to log in link so that they get this email. It says, hey, Nate, you need to change this about your presentation. I click the link. I'm right into the portal for the speakers. I can upload a new file. And then when they do upload a new file, you get an alert, and it just says, presenter, in this case, Nate Nauer, has uploaded a new file, and that's your cue to, okay, there will be something to recheck. So you can log back into the portal and look. Now, I'm highlighting what's on the left to show that the file history, the file upload history is preserved, but the grayed out file name and the grayed out uploaded date and timestamp. It's a little hard to read even. The grayed out text, I'm not able to click and review that old file now. I'm only able to click and review the new file, but the history is there. So that's a useful thing to see the upload history and the time, date, and time stamp of the new upload, but you're only ever working with the most recent file.
Nate, a question did come into the chat. Do both co-chairs have of a session have access to the same reviewer portal and have the same rights to view and approve presentations?
They do. Great question. Uh, they have exactly the same rights, which is, I'll go one further and answer a question that you're not asking, but it's anticipated. You, as would just say chair one and chair two, chair one could go through and review and approve all of the files. You have to work out with your chairs, your co-chair, how to divvy it up, and how to work with each other because each chair has equal access and authority to communicate with the presenters and to enter decisions. But they're both looking, you are both, if it's a two-chair session, you're both looking at exactly the same thing and you have exactly the same uh, privileges. So when you see that a new file has been uploaded, you log in, you're looking at it, you'll see in the bright text the new file name, and you're going to see the existing recommendation status. Oh, this was one where I recommended major changes, and hence the new upload. Now that I download it, I look at it, let's say everything about it is great. And so I update the recommendation to approved. Approved is the only, quote, final recommendation. The only recommendation that's going to complete the review is approved, and only that one. So if I enter approved and click continue, then the presenter receives an email that looks like what you see in the middle. You Your review has been completed, and then this is the stock text that comes from the settings in our portal. You can't customize this email text. It says, your presentation file has been approved. Please convert this approved version of your slides to a PDF and upload here by the due date. That is stock email body text that comes from the settings in this review software. So your custom message needs to come from the email presenter. When you approve, they get an alert. You've been approved. And that's what it looks like. And the review will be complete. So now when we look at our review summary, whereas before the first presentation in this list was in progress, now it's completed. So this is showing me I've got two completed and two that I haven't started yet, but there are files there. That's why they're in the reviewable status. Once again, this is a reminder of the dates, and the dates are very important. There are three major dates for you as session chairs. Knowing when the presenters have been told to have their drafts in by, and then us asking you, please give your presenters feedback, make contact with all of them, interact with them by February 6th. You don't need to wait, but again, there aren't any files yet for you to review. But as soon as you can, if you have presentations uploaded, um, but the 6th, we want the presenters to have time between the 6th and the 20th to make whatever changes you're requesting and to upload a final to reach that approved status. We are always reachable at speakers@apec-conf.org. And we do, if any questions exist after this webinar, we do want you to reach us here and ask those questions. I am a little early, but are there any questions now? Is anything from the presentation unclear?
Well, I have a question. Hypothetically, you could approve a presentation because it all looks nice and everything. If the speaker wishes to do a subsequent revision, what happens?
It's a good question. The review, you will still receive an alert that a new file has been uploaded. But the
And
reviews,
does that reset the approved?
no, Yeah, it's just great, great.
Oh,
It does not unapprove it. You are able to go and unset the approved status, but it doesn't that the status is something you and only you toggle and update. It's a great question. If you approve it and then they send a further revision, you will receive a notification that a new file's been uploaded, but it would be then up to you to go in and say, okay, I'm not sure what's going on with this new file, unapprove it, and then look at the file. However you want to go about it. But it's a great question. It doesn't automatically reset the recommendation status.
I have another follow-up question. If a speaker arrives on the day of the session with an updated presentation, as often occurs, can that be accommodated?
It can be, and that's been the design, that's been by design and necessary ever since I've been working with APEC's event. We do have a speaker ready room on site that is live networked. So the ideal situation is one where a very minor change is happening.
Sure.
Um,
Okay. No, that sounds fine. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't so strict that it had
no,
to
sir.
be only through. Okay. I'm pleased to hear that. Thank you.
Yes, and that's why I wanted to, whether it was helpful or not, I hope it was, go over at the beginning where these files are ending up and why we have a due date in the portal of February 20, which to your point there for somebody who's updating, as I do myself, update slides up until the last second, a month before an event is like an eternity. It's not that they can't make updates and changes and that they're being disallowed. We want it to be clear to everybody, though. Past certain milestone dates, we can't, for the published items, like again, the proceedings that's created and available to everybody at APEC, which is a semi-permanent. It's a permanent product. It can be downloaded by an attendee, and they have it on their, in their storage for forever. If you as a presenter want that to be accurate, and what you presented on site, we can't create a product like that from something we get the day before the event. So those dates are advertised to everybody to set the expectations that if we get stuff after certain dates, we just can't vouch for the fact that it's going to be available on certain platforms. And that proceedings product is the number one product that requires the longest lead up time. The mobile app will be updated for with a file that's uploaded on site. Um, Obviously, the file that's presented in the room. If you come to the speaker ready room the morning of your afternoon session, you come in the morning, update your file. That afternoon, that's the file. So we want to allow that flexibility for presenters. The honor system part of it is don't get approved and then make dubious changes to your file and have that be a problem. So there is some um, trust that goes into it.
Sure. That sounds good. Thanks for the clarification.
Thank you for the question.
One other question was when do the updates in the speaker made in the speaker ready room go live to participants in the app?
Um, so the digital process which is initiated is immediate. The time to see it in your app, um, I'll get into the weeds a little bit. The app on site is doing an auto refresh, a check without you having to do anything. Your device, your phone, if you're running the app, is checking for updates every 1 hour when you're on site. So, uh, if I'm looking at a presentation on my app and the presenter comes in the speaker ready room and updates his presentation, I will not immediately see that file change in my app. But if I say 10 minutes later, If I go into a manual refresh of my app content, I could see it. We tell presenters, give it 2 hours. Don't like come to the speaker ready room at least 2 hours before. But in their uh, pre-event, instructions that go out, we ask them if they're coming to APEC on a Tuesday and they speak on a Wednesday, come to the speaker ready room the day before. So we try to put that out in the instructions. The app is updated automatically, but it's doing its own check for updates every 1 hour. And when a new file is uploaded, there is a queue of files that is running. A queue is running through a processor in a server to create the product that feeds the app. And though it's initiated automatically, it's not immediate that you see the change. But we endeavor to keep the time as very short. Um, I hope that answer is helpful. I can't give you an exact time. Any other questions? I could look at the chat. If
I think that um, is all of them. So I'm going to stop the recording here, and then if there are other questions, people can definitely stay on as well.